Extinction Agenda EX.
Alright, hello everyone, I'm Kiwami and I am gonna be running A.R.E.S Extinction Agenda EX, and we had a Tauros versus A.R.E.S bid war. I assume A.R.E.S was actually in the lead when I first checked, so I assume that he's still in the lead, so I guess he's the character that we are playing as.
Yep, looks like A.R.E.S is still in the lead.
Okay, that's good. So let's get started. So we're running New Game Plus, so that means we have all the upgrades unlocked. So we're gonna start straight from Chapter 1. Usually the timer in this game starts when we get past the first loading screen, but just for the sake of a marathon, we're gonna start when I actually choose Chapter 1. So let's go in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh, that was a really fast load. Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons that we do that, because the loading screen for Chapter 1 is very inconsistent. It's the only loading screen that's inconsistent in this game. I don't know why. It's just like that. Like when you first boot up the game, the loading screen, it's like very slow, and afterwards it just gets faster. So the basics of this game. So this game is heavily inspired by Mega Man. As you can see, we can dash, we can air dash, and since we are playing New Game Plus, we actually have all the upgrades unlocked. We are normally not meant to be air dashing on the first stages. However, since it's New Game Plus, we have all the dash upgrades. So you see that this game is called Extinction Agenda EX because there is two versions of this game. The first one was the base game, but they just decided to like redo the entire game, and they kind of did like a big revamp of the game. Pretty much a lot of stuff changed, and I'm not necessarily going to like talk about all of the differences because there's a lot. So I also have the first boss. He is Goliath, and he's a pretty quick boss. So we're gonna be shooting upwards, and he's pretty much dead because this weapon that we have here is the weapon that has the biggest damage in the game, and pretty much we're gonna be fighting every boss with this specific weapon here. We also have all the upgrades on it, so it does more damage and has a faster fire rate. Normally this weapon doesn't fire that fast, but you know, since it's New Game Plus. So now we are heading to Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is the stage where we first get the Fire Punch. That was in the original game. This was called a grenade. So if I end up calling the Fire Punch a grenade bomb, that my mistake. I ended up being familiar with both games because I actually play both versions. Although I do prefer the EX version because it also includes extra content, which we're gonna be talking about later. So as you can see, whenever I can, I am air dashing over enemies. The reason I'm doing that is that when we are air dashing, we are invulnerable. So for the most part, we are gonna air dash enemies that we cannot necessarily kill that fast. Like you see that monkey over there, that enemy, he doesn't actually die instantly. As you can see, we need to shoot him once and wait for him to explode, and that's actually slower. So we either air dash or damage boost, whatever works. Also, you see that I'm combining both the fire punch with the weapon. The reason I'm doing that is that the fire punch deals a little bit more damage than the weapon, and the enemies' iframes in this game are pretty short, so we can easily combine both weapons to deal damage. It's just like a tiny optimization that we can do. Also, this section here is a little bit tricky. I'm just gonna do the slower version of it. Normally, you do want to double jump because it's faster. Also, be careful here to not fall off. Just like most of the Mega Man games, I mean, pretty much all of them, right? If you fall down a pit, you're pretty much gonna die. Doesn't matter if it's New Game Plus or not. There is an upgrade that we can like prevent death if we have full energy. I didn't talk about energy in this game. You can use a special solar blaze cannon used when you have maximum energy with A.R.E.S. However, it's not very useful in the run. I think hard mode runs use it for some bosses, but for any percent, since we are running the game on either casual or normal difficulty, it doesn't really matter because the bosses have they don't have much health. So speaking of bosses, we have this one, the Carrion boss. Carrion, we need to do a specific amount of damage to him so we can skip one cycle from him. Normally after this attack that he just did, he will go into the ground and do another cycle, but since we ended up melting his health down to like 50%, he's actually gonna go to his second phase. We can also skip a couple cycles in the upcoming phase. Hopefully I can do enough damage to him to do so. Let's see where he's gonna show up. This is also RNG. Oh, I missed the bomb, no problem. But yeah, normally he will be that a little bit faster than that, but it's still okay. That was a pretty fast fight. Also, this is the boss that normally we would actually unlock the air dash upgrade. However, we already have it and we have 3 dashes because of the upgrade. So yeah, we don't really we don't necessarily have to sit through the cutscene of unlocking air dash. Also, this game has some lore to it. I'm not gonna go too deep into the lore of the game because there is a lot of stuff. So it's not like super relevant to the run. Plus, I do feel like it's cool to just experience that by yourself and see the differences. Also, the monkey just decided to roll, okay. I don't think I ever saw that before. Didn't even knew that enemy could do that, okay. So yeah, this level is also the level that we're gonna be using the laser to open some doors. So you see this blue switch. If we shoot with the blue laser, actually that's just the only way to deal with it. There's no other way to like do this. This is kind of like a puzzle. So I have to shoot with the laser. We have 4 weapons in this game, by the way, but we're only gonna be using like 2 of them for the most part, because the other weapons, they don't do as much damage. Plus, they're not that fast. So I have this boss. I think it's the Zitron Booster. So yeah, what I want to do here, I want to get as many shots as I can on him before he shows up on the screen. He can shows up either left or right. It's pretty much RNG. There isn't. Oh my god. Okay. I think the cycle is a little bit messed up now, so I'm gonna wait for a platform. Okay, it's fine. As long as we don't die, it's okay. Speaking of death, though, in this game, there's no big penalty if we die. If we die, we are losing. We're gonna just lose score, which, again, on the speedrun is not too big of a deal anyway. But if you die, I mean, we are losing time for dying, so I mean, that's something to be concerned about. But there's no life system in this game, so you can pretty much die as many times as you need to basically finish the level. So I think this guy is the Zypher Pod. I do have the name of the bosses on me right now, but I don't really know exactly their names. So this guy is a pretty fast fight as well. He just goes back and forth. And also, we're gonna finish this fight close to the door right here. The reason that we're doing that is because when we ended up finishing a boss, the game is gonna make our character move to the door, and that's actually slower. So by doing that, we are saving like some precious time, I would say. Like around, depending on where you are, might either save like 4 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. So yeah, it's a tiny optimization that is not hard to do. You literally just have to be close to the door. So this stage right here, there is some enemy gauntlets upcoming, and if you have any donations, that's a really good opportunity to read them.
Awesome. Well, first I'm going to check in on our incentive for the next run, that Mighty Gunvolt Burst upgrade. We have raised over $2,700. That is more than halfway, but we only have until the end of this run, I believe, to raise $2,300 more to get that upgrade. We have $250 from Jason LaRose, showing some love for love. Heart. And we've got that Love 3 incentive as well. We've raised $830, but that's a $3,000 incentive, so we have quite a ways to go on that one as well. And that one is coming up fairly soon today as well. So remember, if you would like to see those incentives get met, apply your donation towards those incentives on that donation page.
I think we have time for one more.
All right. We have $50 from Victor Prime. That rock and roll run just blew my mind.
So we had this boss here, which is a pretty quick fight. So I'm gonna talk about the section right here. You see that gas that's like going from the boss? That gas is supposed to infect us with like a virus that would make our health go to 1, and we would have to basically not take damage in that previous section. However, if we actually dash into that door, and that's actually pretty easy to do, if we just dash into the door, we basically skip the gas section. Doesn't necessarily save time. Like, you still have to wait for the door to open. However, it makes it so we don't have to worry too much about doing a damageless execution of that screen. So this level, I would say that this level is the level that has the most enemy gauntlets of them all. However, we are pretty much reaching the end of it. So there's those electric enemies right here. If we are playing as Taurus, Taurus can actually use his slide to kind of diffuse them, because he has like an EMP roll or something. Unfortunately, A.R.E.S needs the damage boost, but it's not that big of a deal. So I have this boss. This boss is, I think he's the Sentinel. Yeah, he's the Sentinel. This boss, he looks very similar to a Metroid boss, honestly, and I think it's pretty cool. What we're gonna do here, we're gonna do a very specific amount of damage to him, so he can spend less time teleporting on the screen. So essentially, we're gonna be skipping some cycles here by carefully shooting specific spots when he shows up. So now we're gonna go for his second phase. There is a second phase, but we don't really see it. After this attack, he's gonna create a lot of clones, but since you kill him so fast, you don't actually see it. So now you have the other guy. Taurus is an important NPC in the plot of this game, kinda. Compared to the original game, he was only a recolor of A.R.E.S, but they just decided to add some extra content to the game, and they were like, yeah, let's just make Taurus a unique character, and I think that's pretty cool. Also, speaking of extra content, by the way, in the original game, this level doesn't exist, so yeah, we're having more extra content compared to the original game. So we have this section here, which is an auto-scroller. So if you also have more donations, that's also a good opportunity.
All right, we have $250 from Ian. Always glad to see Mega Man games at GDQ. Keep up the good work on the run. Mega Man X was one of my favorite games on the SNES, and this donation goes to my other favorite game, Link to the Past. It's a lofty goal, but I have faith that we can reach it. We also have...
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, we have $25 from Zero Jedi. I'm feeling a bit sad that we're already on the final day of AGDQ, but I'm so hyped for all of the incredible runs we still have ahead of us. Really interested to see this custom AGDQ bonus level in Love 3.
I might have time for maybe one more.
We have $100 from Danny Beasy. This is for my Papa Kenny, still fighting the fight against cancer and for a longer GDQ. Love and light to the event, crew and chat.
All right, so the train section is a very interesting section because we want to do our best to not fall off the trains. So we're going to be using some very specific air dashes. And although this one particular level also has a lot of enemy gauntlets, so I guess we can probably have a couple more donations in on this one.
All right, seeing a bit of progress on that upgrade to hard mode. $22,747, so keep at it, Twitch chat. Y'all are cute. We have $50 from Straza. Can't believe we're on the last day already. Let's get that bonus run in so HDQ can go just a little bit longer. We have $10 from Luce. Thanks for doing this twice a year. I love it.
Okay, so now we have this boss. This boss is quite interesting. He is called the Oculus, and yeah, he's basically an eye, I guess. I guess the name is pretty fitting. So I don't really recall if this boss really does anything too special in this game, because he dies pretty quickly. So, but yeah, he's one of the mini boss. So now we have this line of dialogue is actually exclusive to A.R.E.S. If you're playing Taros, you're not gonna have a dialogue here because, you know, plot reasons. Basically, this is the level where the plots, both of the character stories kind of connect to each other, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I am not gonna spoil who's gonna be the boss that we're gonna be fighting in this level, though. But it might be pretty obvious at this point. Okay, I need to be careful here because you see that thing on the ceiling that if I don't crouch in time, it might end up crushing me on the left side of the screen. So if that happens, it's not gonna be cool. However, you can survive that thing somehow if you have like enough energy to enable the kind of like the last chance upgrade. So now, well, look at him. It's Taros. Turns out Taros is actually infected by that gas virus that we fought before. So we have to actually fight him, unfortunately. Also, he's doing a lot of cycles, but yeah, we need to kill him pretty quickly here and do just enough damage to him so we don't have to deal with more cycles. So between cycles, like after a specific amount of damage that we do to him, he's gonna use his special attack where he becomes invulnerable. Kind of like if you're playing as Taros, you waste your energy and you're gonna use that attack. So, oh my god, okay. So now I have this quick time event right here. We just need to press LB. Also, fun fact: if you miss this LB input, you're gonna get insta-killed, no matter how much health you had. So I actually tried it out. I didn't know that was a thing because it's just like it's always the same thing. But I decided to test it out to see if something would actually happen, like if you had an extra cutscene. But no, you just instantly die. So now we're on the main highway, one stage before the final one. Again, this game is pretty short. We have only a few chapters. It has 7. This level also has a very interesting skip that we can do. It's not necessarily, I mean, it's an enemy gauntlet skip that only saves about 4 seconds. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna walk my way down here and see no enemies. We are supposed to fight a couple enemies right there. However, we don't have to because the trigger is actually placed right in the middle of that section. And there's a small gap between the trigger and the floor. And if we just walk and not dash, we can actually skip the trigger entirely. But again, that saves only 4 seconds, so but it's still like it's the 3 times saves that we can get. Also, those enemies here can be kind of tricky to deal with because we don't have the EMP dash. So what I like to do here, I like to use the electric thing to kill them all. Unfortunately, I got grabbed by them, but as you can see, it's essentially a time loss if we do so. So I have this section here. If you notice, I am actually being pushed by the wind. Yeah, there's wind physics in this level, and I think it's actually pretty neat. Because everything is falling apart in the background, as you can tell. And in my opinion, that's actually something that this game does pretty well. Like, the graphics are pretty much on point. So remember Goliath? There he is. But now he's Goliath Mark II. So what are we gonna do here? I'm gonna try to use the bombs on him. Unfortunately, I kind of missed. So I might have to deal with an extra cycle. But he's very hard to hit with A.R.E.S. because we also need to dodge his attacks. Also, I was taking a lot of damage there, but not a big deal. Again, since we can also heal, we have the recycler, the recycling drone. He can actually craft fuel for us by wasting like 100 scraps. The scraps is the currency in this game. We didn't talk too much about it, but essentially we're only using that to heal. So now I have one tiny enemy gauntlet here, but this one is pretty quickly. We're gonna go pretty quickly here. Okay, there we go. We also got a lot of scraps for finishing those gauntlets. But yeah, now we have the final main boss before the actual final boss, which is Zitron. Also, you're gonna see Zitron here. He is the final boss. He's basically Sigma from Mega Man. But yeah, we're gonna be fighting Prime Guardian. Prime Guardian is a 2-phase boss. Unfortunately, this boss is gonna spend more time invulnerable than alive, really, because he likes to become invulnerable whenever he changes phases. So let's see if I can skip this attack. Unfortunately, I couldn't. This is actually RNG. Whether he's gonna jump or not, I don't even know why. Like, you can skip that attack, but like, it feels like it's pretty much RNG. I do thought that like, if you deal enough damage to him, you wouldn't really have to deal with it, but it's pretty much RNG, and so is this attack. He showed up on the left. The left is actually slower because we would have to damage boost into him. Oh, okay. He went left, right. If we do enough damage to him, we can actually skip the second jump, but it's a little bit precise, and since he was on the left, it wasn't really worth it. The amount of time that we lost by having him jump was actually less than waiting for A.R.E.S to walk his way to the door. And believe me or not, it's pretty slow. But yeah, coming up, we have the final stage. And honestly, this is my favorite song in this game. By the way, shout out to this game's soundtrack. This game has some really good music. Like, shout out to Hyperduck Soundworks. They did a really good job with the soundtrack in this game. So what is the mechanic of this level? We have some triangles that we need to collect, and like, as you can see, this big door right here in the middle, we have to collect all of the things for it to open. So here there's another gauntlet skip that I can do. If I air dash into the specific spot there, we're not gonna trigger the enemies. Again, this is another one of those cases where the enemy spawn trigger is actually placed like far in the left there, so we can basically skip that, and like, that saves. I don't even know how much that saves, to be honest, but if I would guess, it'll probably be 20 seconds, because there is a lot of enemies in that section. So now I'm gonna be double jumping here. You can air dash here, but it's very inconsistent. So I'm gonna also be playing safe here. It's very easy to die in this level. Those crushes can instantly kill you, and they will if you're not careful enough. So now we're gonna be heading to the two of the final forms that we need to get before going to the final boss. So I'm gonna be air dashing here. Oh, okay, I almost fell, no problem. We got the yellow triangle. So now I have the blue triangle. The blue triangle is pretty quickly to get. There is a new death warp that I found when I was actually like practicing the game. And it was even before I even submitted, like it was after I even submitted the game. So I would say that this is the first time that we are actually seeing this death warp in the marathon setup. So I'm gonna be doing here, I'm gonna pause buffer, a dash, and the left input. That makes it so we die when we touch the laser. And since you're not supposed to die in that section, we are actually gonna be teleported back to the previous checkpoint, but we still got the triangle. So both like the collectible and the checkpoint are separate from each other. Because I think when they actually designed the stage, they didn't actually thought that you could die in that section. Because like you're not supposed to. But speaking of the final boss here, Zitron, this boss kind of reminds me of the final Sigma from X1. So there's two phases to this fight. I'm gonna be dealing a lot of damage to those cannons. This is the first phase. We have to destroy the cannons before fighting the real boss. This is the minus cannon. Okay, I destroyed it. This one. And now the final one. There we go. Oh, I couldn't dash to the left. Okay, I'm gonna lose 2 seconds here. No biggie. Now we have the actual final phase. So this is the big Zitron. And so we're gonna be just shooting him until he dies. So get ready on time as soon as I hit him with a final blast. So we'll be at anytime soon. So time. All right, that was it. That was A.R.E.S. And the game is pretty much over. The final boss only has 2 phases. This fight can go slower if you're doing any percent, but in New Game Plus, this is like a pretty quick fight. So I first want to thank everyone for the opportunity to be here and showcase this game. This is a really awesome game, and I do recommend this game for anyone who wants a Mega Man game that is heavily inspired, like the game that heavily inspired by Mega Man and even Metroid. The graphics are pretty nice. So I want to do a quick shout out to the previous world record holder for Taurus, which did talk to me before, and thanks to their runs, I also learned a lot of the game. And also shout out to Lighty for actually working on my VTuber avatar. So I think that was pretty much it for me now, but I'm gonna be seeing you guys soon. Thank you very much.
Yep, we will be seeing you soon, Kiwamis. With that run coming right up next, Mighty Gunvolt Burst. We have a $5 donation from Sir Kai. I want to see Kiwami's run of Mighty Gunvolt Burst on hard mode. As I said, that is our very next run. We still have about $2,050 to go, so really make sure you get your donations in right now if you want to see that upgrade. And with that, we are going to take a quick break, but we will be back soon. Welcome back, everyone, to Awesome Games Done Quick 2023 Online. We have a $50 donation from Unholy Sheep. Donation trained to get the hard mode Mighty Gunvolt Burst incentive met. We have a $250 anonymous donation. Roses are red, violets are blue. I don't understand haikus. I did this all wrong. Oh well, that was a good effort, Anonymous. I enjoyed it. We have $50 from Joe W. Love watching these runs with my wife and cats. Good job, everybody. And checking in on the incentives for our next run, Mighty Gunvolt Burst. Still, we have a little bit over I think I math correctly, $2,000 to go on that one. So really, make sure you get your donations in now and apply them to that hard mode incentive if you want to see that, because that is coming right up as soon as we are done with setup. And if we don't have that incentive met by the time we're done setting this game up, we're not going to get that upgrade. But we also do have that Love 3 custom AGQ bonus level coming up that has a little bit over $2,000 to go. And with that, that is going to do it for me here at the hosting desk. I have been Musical Daredevil, but I'm not done with this GDQ yet. I am actually going to be behind the scenes tonight as your stream tech, so I'm definitely hyped for that as we come to the end of Awesome Games Done Quick 2023 Online. And so again, I've been Musical Daredevil, and I'm going to hand it over to our next host, Shadow Temple.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you might be. Awesome Games Done Quick 2023 Online, powered by Twitch. I will be your host for the next about hour or so. My name is Shadow Temple, and I am so very excited to see some fantastic runs of some games coming up here quick, including Mighty Gunvolt Burst coming up here in just a few moments. Before we get there, though, I'd love to read maybe a few donations here and there. Folks, be sure to keep on donating towards the Prevent Cancer Foundation as we roll along here. One thing we really want to make sure we do here, too, is that we still have the ability to upgrade this upcoming run to hard mode. That Mighty Gunvolt Burst run could be just that much more epic if we get ourselves up to that 5K. We got ourselves less than $2,000 to get there. We can absolutely do this during the transition, but we need your help right now, friends. Go ahead and go to gamesdonequick.com and hit that donate button in the top right to make sure that your donations are heard live on the air today. Like this donation from Unholy Sheep, who donated $50, saying, donation train to get the hard mode Mighty Gunvolt Burst incentive met. Thank you very much. We also have $120 from Wraith, saying, just wanted to take a moment to thank all of the runners and production crew who worked so hard every event to make GDQ what it is. Thank you all for such a wonderful event. We also have $25 from Slickify, saying Mighty Gunvolt Burst should be hard. Reaching the incentive goal shouldn't be. 5 tickets to the hype train, please. Let me go and just stamp those out real quick. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We got also a $100 donation from Acre, saying AGDQ time of the year is the best time of the year indeed. And as wonderful as it has been, we only got one more day in this thing. We got one more day to keep those donations rolling in for Prevent Cancer so we can finally prevent cancer. Keep those donations coming, folks. We'll be getting started on Mighty Gunvolt Burst in just a moment. All right, friends, it looks like we are ready and set to go for Kiwami to start destroying Mighty Gunvolt Burst. Kiwami, take it away.